Hey, I'm AnthonyRomano, and this video is going to give you the hierarchy of eggs, okay? Which eggs are the best for you to eat? Could it be on a keto diet, any diet, for health purposes, okay? This is going to be a quick video. I'm not going to be, slamming you with studies on these things, but I am going to be slamming you with principles behind why certain foods are more nutrient dense, especially because there's not a lot of studies on grass-fed, pasture-raised, organic foods, especially with the eggs, dairy, and meats. Compared to others. Now, that being said, you don't have to do, only meat-eating diets, especially with keto and whatnot. I work with a lot of vegetarians, but I will tell you, a lot of the people I do work with, especially because I used to do more stuff with vegan people, but a lot of times I try to get eggs and dairy in place with a lot of my vegetarians, because if you can get high quality eggs, the difference between high quality eggs and other foods is massive. It's bigger than other foods with grass-fed, pasture raised, and realistically the benefits are more noticeable, and a lot of people can fit eggs into their diet, especially ethically as well, provided you're getting them from a place where they're not just treating them how they treat the chickens with the industrial farming and whatnot, and a lot of other messed up practices that go on there. So I'm going to teach you the benefits about these eggs and how to look at them for whenever your budget allows you to get certain kinds of eggs. Let's get into it, and if you could like the video, that's going to make YouTube show my content to more people. That's all you have to do to help me grow my page. So, if you came here for keto purposes, absolutely, keto shred program. This is going to take you straight to the promised land. All the best fat loss strategies for keto that I've built over a decade of keto dieting. Okay, you can get that on my website, romanoketo.com. And if you're trying to get shredded, I highly encourage you to watch my other videos that are free to learn more about those things. But let's get into eggs, okay? There's generally, a lot of people think that free-range eggs are the best eggs. This is not necessarily true. Now, compared to industrial eggs, right, the main Walmart, whatever eggs you're getting, they're going to be treated relatively the same. And of course, this video isn't only about the ethics, it's about the nutrition. Generally, if you're getting food produced through a manner that is better and more ethical for the animals, it is going to lead to more nutrition for you. So when we're talking about pasture-raised, grass-fed eggs, if you're getting eggs from a farmer, they're not going to be, throwing the leftover chickens into a blender, which is really messed up. But at the same time, they're going to be more sustainable, lower carbon footprint, all those other things. But let's get into the nutrition, because that's what I want to focus on in this video. So, pasture-raised eggs are the top dog for eggs, okay? Generally, with any food, pasture-raised is going to be the best, because this implies that they've been eating pasture. That was their nutrition, okay? Now, even with grass-fed, example for meats, you can label something as grass-fed if the cow has ate grass, and at any point in the cow's life, they are going to eat grass. But basically, when we're talking about dairy, the differences between the highest quality dairy and the medium tier dairy is way bigger than the margin between, mid-tier and top-tier meat, okay? So when we're looking at the dairy, pasture-raised always means the chickens are eating their natural diet. And if you're somebody who's ever had chickens, or your family members have had chickens, which I came from an Italian farming family, that's my genes, okay? Chickens will eat anything you give them. And especially if you're giving them a load of GMO crops like soy, corn, other grains that they don't eat, they're not meant to eat those things. Their digestive system is not built to handle those things. It's just going to fatten them up, which creates a larger profit margin for the people, producing those products. But at the same time, it also doesn't guarantee the health of the animal, which means it's not going to guarantee the health for you. So when you have to realize, even if I'm going to start off by saying just the hierarchy here, okay? You've got your pasture raised at the top, then you have, below that, you're going to have some organic, because organic, it's all about what they can guarantee based on the naming. So organic generally means they're not going to be given antibiotics, hormones, or eating pesticides. So that's obviously a benefit. From there, you could go down to, it gets more speculative, okay? Some people will say the next best is free range, but free range is very comparable to the regular standard bottom tier eggs. So from that point on, I would even say the omega-3 eggs are probably better than the standard free range eggs. So this might come as a shock to some people, but it's because it guarantees they feed the chickens flax seeds. So if you feed a chicken omega-6, they're going to convert it into omega-3, similar to other ruminant animals, because they have the digestive system for that. Now, chickens are meant to eat lots of seeds. That is what they eat, their feed, besides the fact that they dig up worms and other insects and things of that nature, okay? These things are basically dinosaurs, okay? If you want to get into the whole dinosaur, chicken, bird conversation. But the point is, side note, I went to a great museum in New Zealand where they had like this giant, ostrich, and it just looked like a freaking dinosaur, man. It was crazy. So anyways, they will eat a lot of things that you give them. And the point is they will eat the foods that are bad for them if it's given to them. So that always can guarantee other problems getting in. Let's get into the problems that can happen from regular industrial eggs. Now, I'm not saying that they're still bad to have, okay? It's better than nothing because you're still getting some fat-soluble vitamins in small amounts. You're still getting like a CLA, some carnitine, and all the essential amino acids. You're still getting those in standard bottom-tier eggs. So, you don't have to treat it like, every time you're eating an egg, you're giving yourself more problems. But you are going to get more omega-6, which is the inflammatory fat, and we do need a good amount of omega-6. And you're never going to find an egg that's just slammed with omega-3. Okay, even the omega-3 eggs, they just have more per egg than standard eggs. So from there, even if you had to pick an egg that was going to be treated the same way and deal with the same ethical ramifications, it would be better if they ate a better diet. That would be better for them, and on top of that, for you, it would be more nutritionally dense. You would be getting more of the precursors to nutrients fed to the chickens, which you are then consuming the dairy of, okay, the eggs of. Now, that's why I kind of placed them a little bit higher than free range, because free range just basically means they had room to run around in. Okay, this does not mean that they had, full access to pasture, or that they basically lived in conditions other than industrial eggs, besides the fact that they just had more room to live, and they weren't like clustered together, which still isn't good for the stress of the animal, and then therefore their food. So, when we're getting into other forms of, these lower tiers, obviously there's other problems with consuming lots of GMOs, pesticide, and most people have an allergy to or sensitivity to soy or corn in some way, and most of the world's soy is GMO. About 95%, I recall, is the number. So again, remember, I'm hitting you with the principles here. If you want to fact check any of these things, go for it. I'm just trying to give you all the years of data that I've accumulated so then you can verify it yourself. I never want you to just blindly believe anything I tell you. So another benefit of me just hitting you with the principles so you know what to look into. But, this is stuff that I obviously have verified 1,000 times, but, anybody can tell you that. So, back to the bottom tier. You don't want to be eating any food that was slammed with grains, pesticides, and hormones, because anytime you eat something that was sprayed with pesticide, particularly glyphosate and even atrazine, these can cause estrogenic effects, and glyphosate in particular can mess with your collagen network. It can mess with the actual glycine in glyphosate, the molecule, basically attaches to your collagen network, and it can cause a lot of other problems. So, in general, you don't want to be getting most of your food from sources like that. Would it be better than no eggs at all and just eating just trash and eating the crops themselves, eating sprayed corn all day long? It would be better than that for sure, and you'd actually be getting some nutrients and all the essential amino acids and fatty acids you need. But the way I tell people to prioritize their budget is try to get the best quality eggs you can, not only for ethical reasons but for your own nutrition. Okay, so when we're looking at organic, omega-3, and pasture-raised, you kind of want to be playing around with those a lot. Those are the eggs you want to get, especially if you eat them on a consistent basis. I know for me, I eat quite a lot of eggs, so I always try to get pasture-raised or from a farmer's market or something like that. That's another way for you to do it, so provided you trust the farmer. So that's obviously one way, and you'll be supporting local economy. There's a load of other facets to this, which is why, again, I'm keeping this a principle-based video. Now, pasture-raised is always going to be the most nutrient dense because you're getting more of the fat soluble vitamins. So what is the distinguishment there? Well, fat soluble vitamins are the ones that we are the lowest dosed in. Okay, we consume so little of them because they're only soluble in fat, and everybody's told they have to be afraid of fat. Everybody's told, oh, don't have eggs for breakfast. Everybody's told to be more afraid of eating 5 eggs a day than eating 5 Oreos. Okay, so again, when I'm telling you even the bottom tier eggs are not the best, it's still better for you than eating 5 Oreos. Okay, so daily, and the cholesterol concerns are basically non-existent from eating a moderate amount of eggs, because eating more cholesterol doesn't necessarily lead to higher cholesterol. Higher cholesterol is not really a bad thing necessarily. Well, the context is what defines that. And studies from back in the 50s where they fed cholesterol to rabbits, basically, who are vegetarians entirely. Actually, they're technically vegans, I think. I don't know if you had to put it that way. Not there's anything wrong with that. But, an animal that is not carnivorous at all was fed cholesterol, and they don't eat cholesterol. So obviously it's going to cause problems. There's a lot of other things like that. Look up Ansel Keys. But when we're getting into the top tier, try to get pasture-raised whenever you can. If not, organic, you can often find good deals on. And omega-3s, you can also probably not find the best deal on budget-wise, but it would be better than getting the lowest tier. So I always tell people, one of the best ways to do it is get organic most of the time because the cost is going to be the best, and then try to get pasture-raised whenever your budget allows, whenever it's in your pocket. So, if you're at a point where you really know you eat a lot of eggs, And if you do ketogenic stuff, you're generally going to be eating a lot less food on the whole. So you're going to be eating, lower amounts of food, lower carbon footprint for the people who are here for that. But at the same time, you're not going to need to put as much money into your budget if you need less food to sustain yourself. Think about it too. Fats are 9 calories a gram. You're going to require less food to hit your calorie goals and your daily needs. So that's another way how keto can help you to be budget friendly, and actually, in my experience, have way more budget for free spend and other activities, business investments, all those things. So that's another great way how keto would tie into this. But at the end of the day, keto shred program, there's a lot of other recommendations there too, but for eggs, try to get them whenever they're in your budget, the top kind, and be aware of the differences. Don't be wasting your money on free range when it costs comparable money to get better quality or lower quality, okay? If you choose. So that's it for this video. I'm AnthonyRomano. Peace.